spotlight you, put you on host. Where you at, girl? Here we go. Spotlight, and then make host. Spotlight you, put you on host. Of course, YouTube wants to talk at the same time. Okay, we're ready. You can go ahead on mute.
All right. Good night. Hello. Good night, everybody. I hope everybody had an awesome evening. I am Marshetta. I want first off start by expressing gratitude. So grateful that I am able to host my first call with Mommy Mindset. I'm grateful for Cherokee. I'm grateful for Mommy's Mindset, the Wealth Club. I'm grateful for Next Level and Big Faith. I'm grateful that I've kind of had a smooth day. If you guys don't mind dropping some gratefuls in the chat to kind of get it up. What are you guys grateful for? Thank you, Markaya. Grateful for you too as well. I put you on my card. Grateful for Chrissy, Chandra, Markaya, Coach Red, Barbie. I wrote all y'all names down. So I'm grateful for all of you guys. Life, my family, the leaders here, the organization, just having a grateful night. So like Cherokee was saying, I've been around for like a year and a half now. My career is in early education. I've been in that field for 20 years. And being in that field for 20 years, I realized that I didn't have a full 1K plan for when I retire. I didn't have any kind of retirement benefits or anything. And I noticed someone was online doing some trading. So I joined because I'm interested in investing. And this has by far been the best decision of my life. The community is good and the educational platform is also good. And the CEO, Christopher Terry, he's the best as well. So I get to share some value that I read from Napoleon's Hill, Outwitting the Devil. I felt that it was meant for me to do because I heard Chandra talk about it on one of the calls, and then she shared it with somebody. So I was like, I immediately text the book to Cherokee, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this book or whatever because I'm already reading it. I have listened to the audio about 2 times, and I am currently reading it, and I'm on chapter 7. So this book is really, it kind of like convicts me a whole lot. So let's see what we get from this book. In chapter 1, 2, and 3, I know I won't get through all of this, guys, so we'll probably have to do the rest of the book on another call. And I don't mind doing it on another call, Cherokee, because it's just that good, and it's just so much stuff in here. But chapters 1, 2, and 3 is about Napoleon's interview with Andrew Carnegie. He states an idea to Andrew Carnegie saying that he wants to interview successful men and women. Carnegie replied that their job would at least take about 20 years with continuous effort and no pay. And he said that his research is not profitable, at least not right now. So Napoleon never did take up his thing. And he mentioned something about his other self was talking to him. One day he went to take a walk and his other self started talking to him and embarked on the idea that was already planted in his head. Do anybody have any kind of entity that they call their other self or their higher being or their inner spirit? Well, that's basically what Napoleon Hill was referring to when he said that his other self kind of, that's the voice that he heard and commanded him to do that. So he actually did the assignment after being defeated with doubt and everything. All of that is in 1, 2, and 3. But I kind of really wanted to jump straight into the interview with the devil because this is the good stuff. So in the interview, it's like a 2-way dialogue. Hill is addressed as Mr. Earthbound, and the devil is addressed as Your Majesty. So Hill wanted to know, why should I call you your majesty? And he said that he controls 98% of people. He says, so doesn't that mean I deserve some type of respect? So he also states, the devil states that he has no physical body. He's not this little devil with ears and a tail and a pork fist. He literally explains himself to consist of negative energy that lives in the mind of people who fear him. He occupies half of every atom of physical matter. The other half is occupied by the force of God. He moves in and occupies the unused space in the brain and sows seeds of negative thoughts. So some of those negative thoughts in his 6 more effective is poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, death. Poverty, and I think poverty and death is the number 2 that discourage men. So he said that these fears discourage men minds from thinking. So basically, if you can't think, you're not being creative. Basically what he's saying, he destroys your thinking, and he destroys your thinking also when you drift this energy. So he also goes on to say he corrupts the mind of the young. He loves to get you while you're young because you're more easily influenced when you're young. So he corrupts them by teaching them to drink and smoke cigarettes. And cigarettes is being of the worst. Like that really got to me because I was like, cigarettes, he said cigarettes is worse than alcohol. Cigarettes break down the power of persistence, destroy the power of endurance. It destroyed the ability to concentrate. It deadens and undermines the imaginative faculty. And that's something that stuck with me as well, because I was like, that other self that Napoleon Hill actually heard talking to him, that is a part of the imaginative faculty. And, you know, we actually hear leaders in the business talking about the higher faculties and everything. So the imaginative state is important. So I did not know that cigarettes do all of that stuff to you. I would have thought that alcohol and drugs, but no, he said the cigarette is the gang, like that's his number 1 destroyer. And then he said that the children learn to smoke by watching their parents. So basically the parents are influenced more, and the kids are basically watching their parents. So they basically take a lot of things off their parents. So he don't really have much work to do while they're young, because he kind of take over the space in the parents' brain, you know. So this is something that stuck with me too. Habits come in pairs, triplets, and quadruplets. So I was like, damn, like why you just can't have one habit, you know? But it's true. If you do have one habit, you end up, let's say, okay, I'm just gonna be real. You know, you smoke. So okay, right, I'm gonna say, okay, let's say you drink. You're gonna probably smoke and drink at the same time. Like, oh, I need me some to smoke after I drink. So I can kind of agree with the fact that habits come in pairs, triplets, and quadruplets. That's why we should be building good habits. Good habits. Let those habits quadruple and triple up on this. Good habits. So now I'm gonna go to my book and read what I so it says something about poverty, cigarettes, children observing their parents. I gave you that one. So drifting. He likes to catch you when you're drifting. There's this thing in the Bible. There's this scripture in the Bible that says the devil, that it asks us to be watchful and be vigilant because the devil prowls around, you know. So that's basically what this is saying right here. When you're drifting, you must be watchful and vigilant instead of being a drifter, or you're bound to get caught up into his web one way or the other. Control over my environment. There is where it says, after people are born, I make use of what you earthbound call environment as means of controlling them. This is where the principle of habit enters. The mind is more than the sum total of one's habit. One by one, I enter the mind and establish habits, which leads finally to my absolute domination of mind. Back to that again, habits. Oh, so he started people drifting during their youth. He induced them to drift through school without knowing what occupation they wish to follow. And that kind of concerns me because I have a 21-year-old. And I was 21-year-old, I have a 17-year-old. And then I was like, damn, they're drifters. And if they're not drifting, they're constantly in their phone. So I think that's another reason why this book kind of gets to me, is because I want to show them, more and try to know what's going on in their mind when I feel like that they're drifting or whatever, so that entity won't grab a hold of them. It's scary out here. Let me see what else is a good pointer. How much time do I have? Let's see, it's not 37. All right. So drifting, that was drifting. So I remember I highlighted a whole section here. I'm gonna go ahead and read it. It said he calls people to drift on every subject through which he can control independent thought and action. Take the subject of health for an example. He calls people to eat too much food and the wrong sorts of food. This leads to indigestion and destroys the power of accurate thought. So our diet is very important. We hear our leaders also telling us how we should eat clean, organic, vegan, healthy food so that we can have energy, because that stuff that we put in our body, it leaves us sluggish as well, not just cigarettes and alcohol. He just said food as well. Marriage is another. He calls men and women to drift into marriage without a plan or purpose. The key word is plan or a purpose. They just get married with no plan, no purpose, designed to convert the relationship into harmony. Harmony. I like that word. Here's one of my most effective thoughts. Okay. They bicker, they nag one another over money matters. He calls them to quarrel over bringing up their children. He engaged them in unpleasant controversies over their intimate relationships and disagreement over friends and social relationships, activities. He keep them so busy finding fault in one another that they really don't have time to even love each other. Say that devil, he's a beast. Like the energy is a beast, not the devil, but he's a beast. Occupation. He teaches people to become drifters by causing them to drift out of school into their first job that they can find with no definite aim or purpose. Back to the word definite purpose. Except to make a living through this trick. He keeps millions of people in fear of poverty, which is his first tool. Through this fear, he leads them slowly but surely onward until they reach the point which no individual has ever broken the drifting habit. So everybody, we know that drifting is a what? Habit. Savings. He calls people to spend freely, to save sparingly, or not at all. That's deep. Until I take complete control of them through fear of poverty. Environment, he teaches you to drift through. I cause people to drift into inharmonious and unpleasant environments in the home, in their place of occupations, in their relationship with relatives and acquaintances, to remain there until I claim them through the habit of drifting. So that was another one. Wow. So he put together what do we call it in math? I guess a solution. Laziness plus indifference equals procrastination. equals drifting. Formula. That's a formula. Laziness plus indifference equals procrastination. Procrastination equals drifting. So he asked this question. Napoleon Hill asked Your Majesty this question. Is man the only creature who drifts? And he said, yes. All other creatures move in response to the definite laws of nature. Man alone defies nature laws and drifts when he will. And that's a low blow right there because, you know, animals have brains, birds have brains, they don't drift. But here we are, human, the highest form of creation, and we allow ourselves to drift. Being compared to an animal, that's a low blow. So that's getting deep. Let me see what else. Okay. So I'm gonna go to another chapter because, like I said, this is a long book. Let me see his personality review. Oh, can I read this to y'all? I felt like this was very deep. I wouldn't have highlighted it. So he asked him to go ahead. He asked him to describe a typical drifter. And he said the first thing you will notice about a drifter is his total lack of major purpose in life. He will be conspicuous by his lack of self-confidence. He will never accomplish anything requiring thought and effort. He spends all he earned and more too if he can get credit. He will be sick of ailing from some real or imaginary cause or calling to high heavens if he suffers from the at least physical pain. He will have little or no imagination. He will be ill-tempered and lacking in control over his emotions. His personality will be without magnetism, and it will not attract other people. He will have opinions on everything, but accurate knowledge of nothing. He may be a jack of all trades, but good at none. He will neglect to cooperate with those around him, even those whom he must depend on for food and shelter. So that's just a sum total. Let me see what else I like. He will eat too much and exercise too little. That'll be a drifter. He will take a drink of liquor if someone else pay for it. He will gamble if he can do it on the cuff. He will criticize others who are succeeding in their chosen calling. Those are some things that he can tell you what to look for in a drifter. The signs of a non-drifter. He's always engaged in doing something definite through some well-organized plan, which is definite. He has a major goal in life toward which he's always working, and many minor goals, of all which leads towards his central scheme. If you ask him questions, he gives you direct answers, never falls back on evasions or resorts to subterfuge. I don't know what that means, subterfuge. Have to look that up, y'all. He extends many favors to others, but accepts favors sparingly or not at all. Remember, we're talking about the non-drifters. He will be found up front, whether he is playing a game or fighting a war. If he does not know the answers, he will say so frankly. That's a good one for me. He has a good memory, never offers an alibi for his shortcoming. He never blames others for his mistakes, no matter if they deserve the blame. He's used to be known as a go-getter, but in modern times, he's a go-giver. So it was more to that as well. So this, going into chapter 5, this is the confessions continue. Let me see, did I highlight anything? Remember, he exists only in the minds of people who have fears. Did you guys write down those fears? Let's see. All right. He went on to address Napoleon Hill and let him know that he cannot control him because he have discovered his own mind and have taken charge of it. So if he can't control Hill's mind because he's discovered his own mind, then that means he cannot control our mind because we've taken charge of our own mind and discovered it as well. Wouldn't you guys agree? Yes. So let me see what he say about failure. Failure. Okay, let me see. I didn't highlight much in that chapter, y'all. Let me go to this one. So it says protection against drifting lies within easy reach of everyone. Okay, so he gave us self-defense. There's like 9 of them. I can read them and kind of shorten them. And this is protection against drifting. Do your own thinking on all occasions. Decide definitely what you want in life, then create a plan for attaining it, and it will be willing to sacrifice everything else if necessary, rather than accept permanent defeat. Analyze temporary defeat, no matter what the nature or cause, and extract from it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Number 4, be willing to render useful service equivalent to the value of all material things you demand of life and render the service first. Number 5, recognize that your brain is a receiving set that can be attuned to receive communication from the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence. Did you guys know that you hold some type of infinite intelligence? Then we can tap into that. So our brains is a receiving communication. I thought that was so dope. Like humans, we're some dope people and don't even know it. Number 6, recognize that your greatest asset is time. The only thing except the power of thought which you can own outright, and the one thing that can be shaped into whatever material thing you want. Budget your time so none of it is wasted. That's why the leaders tell us to plan our nights and plan our days. Like plan it, we're in the power of creation when we're doing that, so that that saves you from drifting. You know, you find yourself drifting, look at your schedule, set an alarm. Recognize the truth that fear generally is a filler with the devil, occupies the unused portion of your mind. Number 8, when you pray, do not beg. Demand what you want and insist upon getting exactly that with no substitution. I love that. Like when we pray, you don't have to beg. You don't have to beg. You just ask for what you want. Number 9, recognize that life is a cruel taskmaster and that either you master it or it masters you. There's no halfway or compromising point. Never accept anything from life, anything you do not want, if that which you do not want is temporarily forced. One more, number 10. Lastly, remember that your dominating thoughts attract through a definite law of nature by the shortest and most convenient route their physical counterpart. Be careful what your thoughts dwell upon. So basically, it goes back to our brains being a receiving communicator. So, like you said, be careful what our thoughts dwell upon. So, chapter 6 was hypnotic rhythm. I really love hypnotic rhythm. Because hypnotic rhythm is actually a universal law, right? Have anybody heard? Do anybody know the universal laws of nature? No? Okay, I think the hypnotic law of rhythm. Let me make sure. It would be hard to describe this law. It's the same law through which people can be hypnotized. This is not my only claim, it's true. What is hypnotic rhythm? He said he'll have to go back into time and space and give you a brief elementary description of nature, of how nature uses hypnotic rhythm. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand my description of how I use this universal law to control human beings. He said, you know, of course, that nature maintains a perfect balance between all elements and all the energy in the universe. You can see the stars and the planets move with perfect precision in its own place, time, and space. You can see the seasons of the year come and go with perfect regularity. You can see that the oak trees grow from an acorn and pine grows. Those are examples that he gave. He said these are simple things which anyone can understand. What cannot see is the universal law through which nature maintains perfect balance throughout the myriad of universe. He said, you earthbound, caught a fragment. You did not go far enough in the study. Okay, wait a minute. Repetition, basically. So basically, hypnotic through repetition, musical notes and blend, then you have music. Any impulse of thought that the mind repeats over and over through habit, forms, and organized rhythm. So that's basically what the hypnotic rhythm is. It's any impulse of thought that the mind repeats over and over, which will begin to form a habit. Then it organizes a rhythm. Undesirable habits can be broken. They must be broken before they can assume the proportions of rhythms. So rhythm is basically the last stage of habit. Once you done created the habit, whether it's good or bad, you get into the law of rhythm, and you can be hypnotized by it as well. So, and remember, he said, I underlined this, those who control and use their own mind escapes the devil's web. He said, I get all the others as naturally as the sun sets in the west. If you don't control your mind, he will get you. He said, I told you, he said he liked the thing he liked best is to fill the minds of people with fear. Once he filled their minds with fear, he have little trouble causing them to drift until he entangled them into the web of hypnotic rhythm. So he said something about churches. I ended up putting ooh beside this, so I'm going to read that. Because no one knows by the very laws of nature, no one can prove. This uncertainty frightens people out of their wits. It say, then if you don't mind, what religion leader think or say of you when you speak of death? Not as long as they say something. He said, if churches should stop talking about me, my cause would receive a severe setback. So I thought that was kind of deep, because he said, if churches should stop talking about me, my cause would receive a severe setback. So basically, it's like church have put this big old fear in us about the devil, the devil, the devil, the devil. And it's like the devil kind of likes us to fear him and be sitting right there laughing. So y'all don't fear the devil. Just absorb good energy, because he's just an energy. He's just an energy. And I when I was young, I did used to think that it was a real devil. I used to think that it was a real hell. Like, we used to think they would be bad. you're gonna go to this pit of hell and you're gonna be tortured with this little thing. And I probably thought that until I was grown, not knowing that a seed of fear was sold into my mind from early on. It was sold into my mind. So I don't want to keep you guys that long. I'm gonna give you guys one more. Let me see. I do know that he said he did ask him a question about why do you lay claim to know scientists. I know he said that scientists, true scientists, think for themselves. So he knows scientists don't fear him. I remember he asked him something about whom do you think are the ones that do not fear you? And he mentioned scientists. He said because scientists think for themselves and deal with study, natural laws, cause and effects. So do you guys have any piggyback on the book? What parts did y'all like or want to discuss? Or anything that you guys can relate to?
All right, I'm gonna go. Yo, this book was fire. Okay. I need this like now, like yesterday. Okay. And I'm not mad, but I'm mad because I used to have this book and I lent it out to someone before I even got to read it. Cause I was like, I know you need this book. And it helped her a lot. I just never got the book back.
Okay.
And that happens, sometimes you kind of like just gotta let it go. And y'all, I like physical books. I don't like audios. I'll listen to the audio if I have to, but man, this little snippet that you gave us like woke me the fuck up in a lot of different areas. So I'm excited to like really dive into this book for sure. But that was it for me. Anybody else can go about what they thought about.
You're so funny, Chid. I was gonna say, like, I actually I had started listening to the audio, but I had to have like a come to Jesus moment with myself and really admit that like sometimes I'd be reading way too many books at the same time and not really reading any of them. So I kind of had to focus on the actual book that I was reading. But I definitely appreciate it. And it's like you said, it's really just an energy, and not so much even just the energy, but like the thoughts that you're really allowing, like you're allowing them to take fruit in your mind, like to take fruit in your heart, and just really giving them energy, because sometimes it's just really like projections. Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have had situations where somebody says something to you and you're just like, whoa, like, wait a minute, like, why would you say that to me? And it wasn't until probably like 2 months ago really that I really started like paying attention to that and recognizing like, nah, I know what that is. Like, you better get out of here. But yeah, no, that was it. I definitely appreciated it. I mean, I was getting dinner wrapped up and everything, but I appreciate it. It was insightful.
I would like to say I read that book. I heard the audio. The audio is just more disrespectful. I swear to you. This book, no joke, like it really is an eye opener, and actually it was somebody I know that had put me on, and when he talks about like a lot of people become drifters, because that's one thing, like I had to really put myself like, oh my gosh, I was a drifter. Like I really had to put out there and really change my whole mindset, because drifting, he really puts it more on like, people who's in poverty and people who grew up doing like the whole rat race, the whole running the wheel. And it was crazy, because you sit there and you really think about it and you're like, no wonder like I'm so stuck in my ways, because I'm not trying to think outside the box. I'm not trying to do something different to change my ways. So I had to, that book, listen, definitely changed my whole like mindset on just, even with my thoughts, because you think what you manifest what you think. And so I had to really like just like, yo, thinking negative, wait, let's think of 10 positive thoughts, like, so I definitely, that book was everything. And I feel like everybody should read that book because I swear to you, it's like a slap in the face for real. I was like, yo, you mad disrespectful, like, you know, but that's all I had to say. Everybody read that book. Shoot, I read that book twice and heard the audio. That book is lit.
No, but for real, the audio's mad reckless. I love that she brought that up because I was listening to it and I was like, damn, he really talking like we just ain't shit. Like,
You earthbound.
yo, talking about like, and then it's funny because like he'll ask him certain questions and he's like, nah, I can't tell you that. Like, you're gonna ruin it for me. And I'm like, what?
I definitely
Napoleon definitely, like, I guess he saw like right through him. That's how I see it. Like, oh, I see this. And so he started, even in the audio and in the book, like he sensed up, and it's like, whoa, I need you to pause. Like, you're talking too much now. Like, you need to slow down. And I guess as drifters, that's where obstacles constantly get in our way. And that's that bad energy right there, and that's something we just always gotta learn to kind of dodge. Like, wrong person, wrong one today.
or just stay engaged, in good activities. Cause that's cause I'm a drifter. So easy for me to drift off. So easy. So I'm the type that have to have something. I have to keep myself busy, and I don't want to be busy and not being productive busy. I just want to kind of like C. John would call it, be in some kind of IPA, income producing activities, or just basically doing what I like to do, serving your purpose, what you were born for.
One of the things that I like that you had pointed out was the habits like multiplying and stuff like that. Like, no matter if it's good or bad, because it's so true. Because you say when you have one bad habit, like eating junk food, then you want to sit down and watch TV, and then you want to take a nap early, and then you want to sleep in late, and then you want to, like, it definitely snowballs. But if it's good habits, you get up and you go to the gym, and then you want to eat right, and then you want to read books, and then you want to work on your mental. It really does, it's like a snowball effect. They really put that, in perspective when that was said.
We say habits come in twos, triples, and quadruples. So that is something to take with us after tonight.
Big facts. I mean, like, we hear it all the time anyways, like, what you do, how you do anything is how you do everything. So, and it's funny because, like, I actually had that realization like probably a couple weeks ago. Like, I was like, damn, like, it's so funny because we hear it all the time and we like, nah, I do things different. It's like, nah, when you really like sit down, he'd be like, yeah, the energy be fluctuating. I see it.
We got this. This community keeps us from drifting a lot. So we got this.
Big time. Definitely. I think, it's the accountability because there's always somebody who's going to be like, yo, where are you at? Oh, yeah.
That just makes me want to fix my entire schedule. Like, seriously, like,
Good.
it's true.
Good,
It really,
Sammy.
like,
Fix
because
your
I
schedule.
definitely, like, no, because I feel like I have, a good set schedule, where I'm at least like a good like hour or two I could sit and actually relax. But then, my thoughts start getting the best of me at times, and that's when I'll sit there and I'll be like lately, I've been doing a lot more journaling. I swear I have like 3 different journals now. But like I've been doing a lot more journaling. And so I sit there and I'm just like, just to keep my mind occupied, you know, because that's what's you know, like we're mothers and sometimes we do need to, you know, sit back and relax and chill. But you know, things, especially as mothers, we're always, you know, doing something. We're always busy anyway. You know, just if you're gonna have that hour or two to chill and relax, do it productively. You know,
Yeah.
productive but non-productive. You know, relax also. You know.
Well, yeah, no, I was actually gonna say that that's facts because like I'm reading No Limits by John C. Maxwell, and like he really talks a lot about, you know, how it's much more important for you to manage your energy. And for a little bit it was kind of weird for me because I was like, what do you mean? Like, you know, like I be happy, like I be optimistic, like what do I really need to manage? But it's more so like the energy that you carry into your activities, you know, and really like making sure like you're in the right state before you even get into those activities. Because like you said, as moms, like it's so easy, you know, I'm busy, 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 I'm running, you know, this one needs this and this one needs that, and like, you know, whatever. But because of all that, you know, busy, busy and all over the place, you kind of lose your energy. And now when you finally make it to the things that you actually wanted to do, like you don't even really want to do them anymore because you're like in a completely different state than when you started. So I've kind of been like finding source like different activities, like so he brings up like how certain things will just recharge you, you know, like if you take a walk, or if you read like your favorite book, or you know, maybe listen to like your favorite praise music, or like, you know, whatever. But like really finding those things that kind of bring you back to that place where you were at that high energy, so you can really get the things done that you want to get done, because that's what I find the hardest.
Any anyone else have anything to say about what they got from the book?
Go read it. Go read it.
I read together because remember I stopped at chapter 7, and I kind of would love to for us to finish it because it sounds like there was some conviction on the call tonight as well. So without further ado, no one has any question. So how many chapters are there? Chapter 7. I don't know. Yes, Kagan. There's 12 chapters. So we stopped at the hypnotic rhythm. And then we have chapter 7 through 12 after this.
I feel like we could run that up, you know, real quick.
I
Catch up real quick.
am.
Sounds like my daughter. No, you're not.
They'd be like, yo, you been on
These children
long
are so
enough,
funny.
bro. What you doing? That's Zephaniah right now. He don't know how to not touch the
Yeah, you know what my daughter told me today?
Bro, you muted yourself, but what happened?
Sandra's calling me. I'm like, dude, we're on the call. Where are you? My daughter today, she's so funny. I don't know what it was. I was telling her to either stop jumping on the bed or whatnot. And this little one, she has the audacity to tell me that I'm not daddy. Daddy's at work. I was like, excuse me? I'm like, get daddy on that ass. Like, you better find out.
The nerve.
Bro, I'm like, you just turned 4 if you don't sit your ass down. They wild here. So disrespectful. Like, he thinks it's funny. I'm like, I'm insulted.
I think we should definitely. I think we should definitely do that. Like, do like, well, you know, I'm always down for like book sessions, but you know, just just that book only cause Marshetta, she's like, yeah, let's get it. But no, definitely because that book, when I first read it, a lot of people were saying, that book gave me chills. A lot of people had like different testimonies on it. And, when I read it at first, I had to like read it again. And then it wasn't until I actually heard the audio that I was just like, dang, like for real, like, because it's true when they talked about the hypnotic rhythm, and like the hypnotic rhythm it's real. It really is real, and that's why like so much successful people have schedules and they're always booked and they're always busy because guess what? They don't have time for the BS. They don't have time for the the extraness, the things that's going on in the world, the things that will make us drift. So definitely hop on that book, ladies. Like seriously. So when I seen the title today, I was like, oh, this is my book. What are we about to do?
For the people who listen to the audio, when he's talking to the devil, when he's talking to the other person, is it like two people talking back to back, or is it just like one person like playing both roles? Because that would be like hella confusing.
No, it's a back and forth thing. It really is a back and forth thing. Like you hear Napoleon talking, and then you hear Your Majesty talking. And I'm telling you, like, yo, when he is talking, it's just and it's crazy because the way he's talking in the audio, he's talking with so much confidence, and it intimidates him when somebody with so much confidence, so much will to do what they please. That's intimidating for him, and so that's what they talk about. Like, oh, well, so you go after the people who have like no backbone, pretty much, and just like constantly having that negative thought in your mind of I could have done this, I could have done that, or oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. So that's why I was like, I'm telling you, when I read that book the first time, and this was just last year, I was just like, there's a lot of things I had to change, I had to change, with my mindset. And I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard because of the way I grew up, my mom constantly saying, I'm broke or I ain't got this or, I gotta work this dumb job, now I see it like, yo, I'm grateful for my job right now. Like, my job is paying my bills right now. I'm just truly, truly thankful for my job, truly thankful for my broken car, truly thankful for the food I'm eating, truly thankful for everything and anything, that comes my way because it's going to be a lesson that I'm going to learn or it's just going to be something that I just kind of brush off. And guess what? That's what that bad energy wants. It wants you to just brush it off like nothing. And sure, I'll be damned if I call this man Your Majesty again. Hell no, man.
Well, it's the 98% for me. He sounds so confident because he said he controls 98% of us earthbound people. So like, where's the other 2%?
Those them scientists he was talking about. That's it.
That's us. That's us.
So he really get a hold to all of us at certain times. It's just up to us, like the scripture says in the Bible. We have to be watchful, and vigilant. So, as he's definitely prowling, he gets us, he gonna snare you up every now and then, but just learn how to break up out of it. That hypnotic rhythm.
Anybody else want to share some thoughts before we close out? Going
Yes, I
once,
just feel like I missed out on a lot. I came in late and I just feel like I just missed so much. I'm sorry I got the message late, but I learned a lot. You all have inspired me just being on here. So although I feel like I missed a lot, so next time I want to make sure I am on in time.
it's all good. You know, life happens, but we do record these calls. They're gonna be on YouTube. So as soon as we close this call out, get back with the person who invited you and they'll give you the link so you can rewatch this back, you know, and we have
Okay.
plenty more on the YouTube channel as well from every week that we've had so far over the last like 4 months. So there's a lot of other things that you can tune into that I'm sure will help you.
Okay, great. Yes, Marshetta, that's my sister. So I missed a lot. So, but I definitely have enjoyed just hearing from all you all tonight. So I'm sure I will listen and she'll fill me in as well.
Okay, Marshetta, sister. I'm so excited you were able to even join at all, you know. It's showing up, that's the very first step and it's the biggest step. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you all as well.
Yeah, thank y'all. Hey, and Shauna, Juicy.
Look at the baby, so cute. Hi. So cute. All right, y'all. I'm so happy and grateful we were able to do this today. I'm happy and grateful for the next couple of calls that we're gonna put together for you guys. We're gonna be packing some heat, okay? Thank you guys for always showing up, not only for us, but for yourselves to learn, to grow. And we will see you on the next call. Watch out for the flyer and the new information, you know, for the updates, okay? Love y'all. Have a great night.